Last week, black parachutes could be seen falling from the sky in Gaza. Attached to each was a package of canned food, baby formula and other essentials.
What we got was canned chickpeas and a packet of salt.
A litre of oil, that's what I got.
We've delivered in the last couple of days 33 trucks of life-saving infant formula, high-energy biscuits and hygiene kits. But this is still a fraction of what's needed.
Around 2 million people live here in Gaza. It's a 365 square kilometre strip of land between Israel, Egypt and the Mediterranean Sea. Even before the war, a lot of food had to be brought in. Now, almost all of Gaza's farmland is unusable, which means deliveries like these are pretty much the only source of food. In March, Israel, which controls the crossings into Gaza, stopped all of these deliveries from entering the region. Israel's leaders wanted to put pressure on Hamas, the terrorist group which controls Gaza, to release the hostages it took when it attacked Israel on October 7th, 2023. In May, it started letting supplies in again. But the UN says not enough is getting to the people who need it.
I've been part of these aid distributions myself, so I know exactly how they work.
Tess works for UNICEF and says delivering aid is a really complicated process, especially in an active war zone like Gaza.
Because of the damage to the roads and the lack of telecommunications infrastructure, but also because people in Gaza have lived through almost 2 years of war and they're desperate for supplies because not enough has been allowed into the Gaza Strip. And so people try and take the supplies from the trucks as we drive through.
If too many desperate people are trying to get food at the same time, things can get dangerous. And that's what's been happening in Gaza recently. The UN says more than 1,000 Palestinians have been killed while trying to get aid since late May, and many more are going hungry.
We know that they haven't been able to access essential aid for weeks, and they haven't been able to access the food and the water that they need. So what we're actually seeing, unfortunately, is the worst case scenario, which is children are dying of starvation.
Since yesterday afternoon till now, I haven't eaten anything.
Every day we only eat lentils. There's no flour, no food, no drink. We are dying of hunger.
Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, says Israel isn't responsible for the situation in Gaza.
Israel is presented as though we are applying a campaign of starvation in Gaza. What a bold-faced lie. There is no policy of starvation in Gaza, and there is no starvation in Gaza.
He has blamed Hamas for stealing aid and the UN for not distributing it well enough, while the UN says Israel isn't making it easy for them to get enough aid where it needs to go. A lot of people around the world are angry, including some world leaders.
It's a humanitarian crisis. Right. It's an absolute catastrophe. Do you think nobody wants to see that?
Quite clearly, it is a breach of international law to stop food being delivered, which was a decision that Israel made in March.
Israel says it is taking steps to let in more aid, including pausing fighting for part of the day in some areas and announcing protected routes for aid deliveries.
We do see a shift and we welcome that, but we know that even with this change, what that's going to allow is just a trickle of what we need.
What many are hoping for is a permanent end to the fighting.
I wish I could live like normal children, wake up and go to school, not fetch water, not go to the soup kitchen and get food, but come back from school and just play.